This is a video of my converter app for SIT708. My name is Tiffany Mann, so I'm just going to start this app going. So I've just kept it pretty basic in the UI. I've got a few things that I know I could improve on this, which I'll discuss at the end, but in terms of meeting the requirements, we've got a value input here. We've got a spinner for the starting units. I used weights, so kilograms, grams, milligrams, pounds, ounces, and how many cats. The end unit are the same list: kilograms, grams, milligrams, pounds, ounces, and how many cats. And then we've got our convert button, which converts the units. So if we start with 6, for example, kilograms to grams and convert, we get our answer down here, 6,000 grams. If we try 6 kilograms to another unit, so perhaps how many cats, we get 1 cat, 1.0002, just over 1 cat. And then we've also got the error handling. So if we pick the same unit starting and ending, kilograms to kilograms, we'll find a message here, units are the same, please try again. And if we can also do it with a double, that works. We'll go to milligrams, 6.5. We get the answer that we're looking for. If we haven't, the only invalid input this really allows is a decimal point, because you can't actually type on the keyboard. There are no letters. Oh, actually, maybe? Oh no, I don't know what's going on. Okay, decimal point works. For the error handling, so we get the toast message, please enter a number if we have an invalid input. And the code that I used to do this, I set up the spinners as you would do, and then I used a switch case. I initialized a list, an empty list, called selection, and then using a switch statement, depending on which unit is selected as the starting unit, that gets added to this list, and then depending on which destination unit, that gets added as the second item in the list as well. And the unit, for example, mg, is used for milligrams. And then I did if-else statements to define a conversion factor depending on which combination was selected, which is these 5 blocks here of conversions. And then it was the error handling I used if the output and input are the same value, which for each of these I set, for example, if number of cats was both the source and the destination, I set the output to the input and then use that as my error handling option here. If output and input are the same, then we get this message, units are the same, please try again. Otherwise, take the result and times it by the result equals the input value, which is the number given up here, times the output value, which is the conversion factor we get here, equals the result. We turn that into a string, and then we add the destination item from the list so that we get the units displayed on the screen after the number. And then we've got a try catch around the whole thing. Try is up here and catch is down the bottom for the invalid input. Please enter a number. Little message that comes up there. So that's all the code. The things that I would change if I had more time and didn't have to move on to this week's assignment, I would take all this conversion logic and make it into a class, and then call it from the class instead of having it in the main, which I have done before, but I can't remember off the top of my head and have to check that. So that would just take me a little bit more time, which I might do if I have time before the closing date of this, but at the moment I would like to move on. I would update the user interface here to be a bit prettier and have some bells and whistles. I think there's probably a way of doing this using an algorithm instead of a whole bunch of if statements, which I did spend a lot of time trying to figure out, but really couldn't come up with anything particularly clever. So I went with this because I knew it would work. And then I would round down the decimals. I think maybe kilograms to pounds might give us a good example. I end up with really long string of decimals at the end here. It might be because I used a lot of decimal places in the conversion units, I'm not sure, but there was one of them that I did that ended up being really, really long in the end, which I think is a bit messy on the screen, so I would change that as well. I might if I have more time to work on it. And that's my assignment. Thanks.